Welcome to Champagne on a Walmart Budget.
I'm Greg.
I'm Julie, and we're the Crafty Winers. So I will put champagne in quotes because it wasn't actually made in the Champagne region of France.
Sparkling
It's
white wine.
sparkling, great value, white grape juice.
Our puppies want to get some attention right off the bat.
Yep.
These are our two corgis, Pippin and Nori. And they are being distracting right now, right behind us.
They're starting the snort fest.
So when we teach you how to make wine, normally on our channel, we teach you to use things such as hydrometers and pH meters and tartaric acid. This video, we're not going to need to worry about any of that. We're going to show you how to just use stuff from Walmart. And we've already done the math and the measurements for you. So we are sure that this will work if you do it the way that we teach you how to do it here.
We are just simplifying everything for you. This is a fun, cheap experiment, and sometimes just a way to find out if you like making wine and get into it.
So you might have Inspector Crusoe come knock on your door telling you can't call this champagne. So if you want to call it sparkling wine, that might be safer for you because pink panthers are always a pain to deal with.
Okay, I don't know if half the audience watching this is going to have any idea what you just were talking about.
Yeah, people.
Does your dog bite? No? Oh. Nice doggy. I thought you said your dog did not bite.
That is not my dog.
So we've already cleaned our container from Walmart using antibacterial Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it looks a little funky because it's still a little wet.
And we've cleaned our measuring cups and our measuring spoons. These are things you're just going to have lying around the house, probably.
So we're going to give you an idea of the cost of this project.
So these 2 half-gallons of white grape juice total $5.96. And then we've got our yeast. These come in 3 packs for $1.88. The Dawn antibacterial, you don't have to get such a large size of it, and you might already have some, but it's $2.94.
The antibacterial part of this is
the important part,
You
yeah.
want to have that. You don't want to use regular Dawn.
And then the equipment, we assume probably everybody has baking soda and table sugar. The equipment that you'll need is some sort of plastic beverage container with a spout and a hole in the top. And this particular one at Walmart costs $7.44.
This is a 1.2 gallon, I believe.
Yeah, 1.25, I think it was. And then
You do want to have more room at the top than just a gallon.
yeah. And then I'll explain this. You're going to want to buy a bottle of champagne to make your champagne.
You just need the bottle.
You just need the bottle.
Stopper and the cage.
And there's a particular reason I have this size. Cook's champagne comes in the 750 milliliter and the 1.5 liter. The smaller one has a traditional cork, and you cannot reuse those.
It'll probably tear in half when you try to.
So this one comes with a plastic cork. Looks like this. And all you have to do is take it apart, keep the wire cage and the cork, drink the champagne.
Stopper.
The stopper, keep this part and this part, drink the champagne, and then you can take the labels off. We've done that on this one right here. And reuse the bottle as many times as you want to.
Yeah, so you don't have to buy the bottle and the stopper and the cage. Again, just keep them in one piece and keep them around, and you can reuse these over and over again. So that isn't really a direct cost of the bottle of champagne that you're going to come up with. The 2 bottles, actually.
The
Because you can reuse them.
The total upfront cost, that what we just explained, was $41.18. But
That's for everything, including the antibacterial Dawn.
and the stuff that you're going to reuse over and over. So it breaks down to making a gallon batch is about $6.63 for a whole gallon.
Per gallon. So
Which is,
that's a pretty good price.
I mean,
That's 2 of these.
yeah, easy. And it comes out to about $3.30 for a 1.5 liter bottle.
And again, that's not counting the things that you can reuse. So that's what the actual cost of what you're drinking is.
I will point out you want 2 of these because our Our batch will make 2 of
Yeah, and
these.
our Walmart was out. They only had one,
Yeah, this was the last one.
so we took the last one. So just pretend there's another one right here.
We have extra bottles that we have reused that are actually Cooks.
You also want to use, rather than antibacterial down, you want to use something better like Star San or One Step if you were actually trying to make wine other than just this little experiment. And you can watch videos on our channel for every step of winemaking. We have a lot of winemaking and cider making and lemonade, hard lemonade making, and whatever.
All kinds
Carrot.
of stuff.
How about carrot? Hard carrot juice.
How about what did we call it? The pomegranate?
Pomegranate cider.
Yeah, pomegranate cider. I will get this out of the way because we don't need it right now. And we'll get started. This
So
is an interesting shape.
you'll see why you want to have a little bit bigger container than 1 gallon here in a second after I pour this in. You need to have room at the top for the fermentation bubbling before it blows the cap off your container.
And it will bubble.
This juice is room temperature. It's a good habit to start in to warm it up. Take it out of your fridge and let it get warm if you've put it in the fridge. You definitely don't want your yeast to get into something that's chilled.
Well, that got their attention for a little bit.
Okay, so we have our 1 gallon of white grape juice in here.
I have 1.9 ounces of just regular table sugar, which works out to be kind of a strange measurement, but it's a little less than a quarter cup.
Yeah, it's like 1/5 of a cup if you can measure it that way. Otherwise, just a little bit less than a quarter cup. It's important to have not too much sugar or you may not get your carbonation started because of the yeast that we're using. You want this to be about 9% alcohol, and this amount of sugar will do that. So we pour our sugar in.
And then we are going to want to put in 1.5 teaspoons of just regular old baking soda.
This makes it so that the yeast can handle the pH level of the juice. This is important, or it may not finish fermenting.
True. There we go. Whoop! Splashed.
The lid on this is not going to be extremely watertight, but you do want to mix this up well. None of it is watertight, but if you hold it right, you want it to be, especially the sugar and the
Baking soda.
baking soda need to be pretty well incorporated.
It's a little more watertight than the $5 one we had. Well, I see it splashing
Maybe
out.
10 cents more watertight. I would shake it for at least 3 to 4 minutes to make sure that you've got it as incorporated as possible.
Okay, so once you have that all shook up, this is your chance to sing Elvis.
I'll just put an effect.
We are going to take out a quarter cup of this juice right here.
Using our pour spout. How handy is that?
One of the reasons for the pour spout. The other one is to bottle it, and you could drink it right out of there if you wanted to.
You can just
chug, 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 chug.
right now it won't be pleasant, but it might be at some point.
Okay, so I'm going to take this active dry Fleischmann's yeast, and I'm going to put most of a pack in here on top. Leave some of it left over because you'll need that for the next step for the carbonation part.
So you don't need to leave very much, just a pinch.
Just, yeah, a couple pinches. And honestly,
There's a lot in there.
This is a lot of yeast.
When you buy wine yeast, they give it to you in a much smaller quantity. Then it does the same thing.
Okay, so that should be good. We'll put that to the side.
So now we are going to put this in a warm area to sit for, we usually recommend 2 hours. If you're not that patient, you can do it less, but we would recommend, our dog is stealing things. Pippin?
Pippin,
Bring
come
that back.
back.
We have parts of a fruit
Stop it.
crusher, and she thinks it's sticks that she can take upstairs. And no, Pippin, we can't do that. That's not a good Pippin.
No.
So this yeast is going to hydrate and start to get fermenting. So we want to give it some time in a warm area, about 85 degrees preferably. We like to say to do it up to about 2 hours, but if you don't have that kind of time, you can probably get away with less.
And a good place to put this, if you have a little heater, you can stick it in front of the heater along with this to get about the same temperature. But you can also just put it in your water heater room, someplace warm, about 85 degrees, and get them to the same temperature.
So after you've let your yeasts hydrate for as long as you're able to, again, we prefer around 2 hours, go ahead and pour it in. Get as much of the yeast gunk out of the measuring cup as you can. In our case, I think that's probably pretty good. Then this lid is going to keep bugs out and also allow the gases to get out of the fermentation. So you don't want to screw it on, just loosely put it on, but make sure it's covering the whole opening so that you don't have fruit flies and other bugs getting into your fermentation. So now we're going to keep this in an 85 or so degree area.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend for 4 weeks. If you do happen to have a hydrometer and you know how to measure specific gravities, we have videos on such things. If you have that, you can just wait till the fermentation is done. If you don't, really the only way you're going to know that it's done is that it quit bubbling and it's completely still for probably 3 to 4 days. At that point, probably been at least 2 weeks, and you're good to go ahead and proceed to the next step. Very important to make sure that you do wait for this to be done fermenting.
Yes.
So if you're not sure, give it a full 3 weeks and make sure that there's no bubbling going on anymore and it's perfectly still. Then you're probably pretty safe to know that it's done. If you don't do that, you can end up with overcarbonation
Of the second step.
of this next step that we're going to do. So we're going to put this away and we'll be back in probably 3 weeks. Okay, so about 3 weeks have passed.
Yep.
I noticed that this was bubbly. You should probably check yours to make sure, every few days, to make sure that it does start bubbling. The color is probably different now. You can see it. It's harder for us to tell, but it's probably a different color now that the fermentation was done. And there's a layer of sediment down at the bottom of this container.
Yep.
So fermentation is done. The lid has been on loosely this whole time, and I can tell no bugs got in or anything. And since this didn't blow up, I know that I didn't have the lid on too tight. You do want to make sure that it's on
Just loose.
loosely so that the gases can escape. So now we want to get the juice off the sediment that's at the bottom. So use any kitchen container that you have that you've used the antibacterial Dawn on to clean.
We just happen to have this pitcher here, so we'll use that.
There is a danger of oxygenation here, which means you ruin the wine by exposing it to too much oxygen. So this trick is just to let the wine run down the side of the pitcher. But we are just going to send to our pitcher and leave the sediment behind in the original container. So we've got all the juice, all the wine. This is actually wine now.
Yep.
The wine is all out of the container, and you can see the sediment that's still down at the bottom. So we want to clean that out using our antibacterial Dawn. This is now just wine without sediment. We're going to work on this for a minute, and then I'll work on this.
What I'm going to do is put in what we call priming sugar, which is what will allow the secondary fermentation to start, which is what gives it the bubbles. And
Carbonation.
yeah, the carbonation. And we did the calculation already for you. And I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of sugar right in here, and then we're going to stir it up with a slotted spoon.
Okay, now she's put 4 tablespoons in. Again, you really don't want to expose this wine to a lot of oxygen right now. So
Stir it gently.
stir it gently. So you probably have a funnel so you can pour directly from where this container that you poured it into directly into your bottle. If you don't, you can pour it, you can clean this out using the Dawn antibacterial. Clean it out really well. Pour the pitcher or your container back into here and use the pour spout to fill your bottle. So however you want to do it. We have a nice little pour spout on our pitcher, so we're just going to use that. We'll let you use your creativity to figure out how to get it from this container into the bottle, but that's our next step. We will link this pitcher because it is kind of handy, but you cannot buy it from Walmart.
No, you cannot.
But
But you can buy a cheap pitcher from Walmart.
we're not cheating here because you're going to have something in your house that you can use to hold this 1 gallon of juice for this one step. I have faith in you. I overdid it a little bit. She helped. We got it fixed.
We got it fixed. You do want some room up here because carbon dioxide is going to build up in here.
2 of these 1.5 liters is still not a full gallon, so you're going to have a little bit left over anyway. So don't worry about wasting a little. The dogs might get a little, that's fine.
So the next step is take the yeast that you have left over. And there's no exact measurement for this. I just take a little healthy pinch, sprinkle it right into the top, and you'll see it. Well, you probably can't because it's a green bottle, but it's laying right on the top.
It's right here.
And that's what we want. And then you'll do that also on your second bottle. We're just going to do one on camera. And then we're going to put this cork in and put the
This is a
stopper. Sorry, I keep calling it a cork. The plastic stopper that comes in the Cook's champagne to begin with.
This can be embarrassing to try to do in the position that I'm trying to do it in.
They're not the easiest thing to put back
So
in.
I'm going to do it down here.
Maybe.
I'm going to do it by stepping on it.
There you go. So if you have to step on it to get it back in,
If you want
that's
to
cool.
keep from having cool designs in your hands, use a towel or a rag or something.
And then I usually just swirl this a little bit because some of it kind of gets up on the side, but that's okay too.
You want the yeast to be in the liquid. Don't give in to the urge to shake it though.
No, don't shake it.
You don't want to shake it.
Swirled, not shaken. That's not quite the thing. And then put this wire cap.
This is the wire cage that you took off the bottle when you opened it.
And then just twist it.
This is
securely
important. Both of
back
these are
on here.
important because this is going to have a lot of pressure in this bottle.
Will.
So she's also going to put this inside a tote from Home Depot or someplace, but you don't need to put it
Or
in.
Walmart.
Or Walmart. You probably have a tote sitting around that you can put it in. Or if you don't have that, just make sure that it's someplace safe. So if the top does happen to blow off during the carbonation phase, that it doesn't.
It won't go all over your walls and your
Doesn't.
ceiling. And that is all there is to it. I'm going to put this in our bunker for 3
You want
to
this
4
to be
weeks.
70 degrees. That's the calculation we did for you as far as the amount of sugar
Yes.
that it was that we put in. Depends on this being somewhere around 70 degrees. So 68 to 74, something like that. You don't want it to be a whole lot hotter or a whole lot colder, or it probably won't come out quite right.
And then I'm going to put this away for at least 2 weeks, but I recommend longer than that. I usually let them sit for 3 to 4 weeks. And then when that's done, we will come back on camera and open it.
Just to make sure, in case you quit watching this video and say, oh, I can do this, when you open this, make sure that it's been chilled.
Yes.
Because when it's warm, there'll be a lot more pressure in there, and it'll end up just being a big foam fountain coming out of this. So
Correct.
before you open this, in case we forget to say it, I don't think we will, but make sure you chill it first.
Yes, we've experienced that happening.
And
Big foam fountain.
you made enough wine to make 2 full 1.5 liter champagne bottles full of champagne, or one of the big ones, and you could use 2 smaller ones, which is what we might end up doing with this. But there'll also be a little bit left because 3 liters is less than a full gallon.
Correct.
It's a gallon is like 3.9 liters or something.
Yeah, liters and
3.8.
gallons don't quite match up. But anyway, we're going to let this sit for a while and we'll be back to open the chilled bottle on camera. Okay, so we are back and it has been 3 weeks since we put this in to start carbonating in our bunker. And our dog is going to start talking to us.
Because it is 2 minutes to 6 p.m.
And that's when she starts barking.
That's dinner time. We're almost done.
We're almost done. Almost done, Lori. Almost done.
Just another minute.
Yeah. So, the last step is to open this up and see what we got.
This is the part I like the least about this whole process.
The plastic corks are a little
Well,
difficult
just
to get out.
Opening champagne bottles, I'm saying.
It makes
So-
me jump sometimes.
So it's been in a 70-degree room for the 3 weeks.
In our
We know
bunker.
that we put the right amount of sugar in there. So in theory, this should not explode. Make
And it's
sure
chilled.
that it's chilled. This is chilled down to about 30, 34, 35 degrees. It's been sitting in the fridge all day. If it's warm, it's guaranteed to explode.
It will be a volcano.
Store-bought champagne will too.
Woo!
Look at
Whoop!
well,
okay, we did have a little bit of an explosion, but it looks good.
and I couldn't that. I'm not going to try to guess why that would be, but that doesn't matter. It didn't.
Oh, it happens with store-bought champagne all the
didn't
time
explode
too.
Too much. But look at the big bubbles in that.
That's nice.
That looks very quality. So there is a little
Perfect.
bit of sediment down at the bottom.
Which
And
you will get with your
You're gonna
champagne because of
That's gonna
how
happen.
we created it.
This is hobo champagne. This
Yeah.
is not professionally done.
And you won't get that until the very last glass, so maybe by the time we get to the last glass, you won't even notice it.
If you drink this whole 1.5 liter,
It's a lot of
you
shit.
are not going to notice it. I don't know how much you want.
That's fine. That's good.
Look at those bubbles.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Great.
We did
Honestly,
good.
This looks like store-bought.
It does. And way cheaper. All said and done.
I mean, it's not going to probably taste like store-bought, but I give myself a little bit less.
I think you gave yourself more. That's fine. Okay, well, let's try
So
it.
the
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the glasses. These are
hand-painted.
hand-painted.
And we just finished a video on hand painting. In that case, it was a wine glass. These are champagne flutes, but same process. So we'll link that above.
Actually, that one was a beer glass.
You're correct.
We did etching on the wine glass.
You're correct. Then
yes.
we'll link that one too, since you mentioned it.
It's kind of fun and a nice personalized gift for Christmas or anytime.
So this is usually champagnes are going to be a multiple choice of white wines that are mixed together
Right.
to get the champagne taste. And we used Great Value white grape juice.
So
So
it's not going to taste.
is it going to taste like Cook's or any real good champagne? No, but it should be pretty decent.
Did you just put Cooks in the group with really good champagne?
Well,
Because
the
it's
lower
not.
end of good champagne?
It'll taste different. It does taste different.
The carbonation level is great.
Carbonation's perfect. And
Mm,
it
the
tastes
taste-
good.
I don't drink. I mean, I honestly drink champagne on New Year's Eve. She drinks champagne
Every Sunday, pretty much.
with orange juice
Mimosas.
and a mimosa. So she's the expert on champagne. But
And once you put orange juice in it, it doesn't matter what kind of champagne you're using.
it's true.
Because it doesn't. The orange juice covers up anything. But it still tastes good.
I don't hate it. The alcohol level, I can't really taste the alcohol, and that you shouldn't really at 10% probably be able to taste much of it.
Mm-mm. I think it's good.
It's going to be a little higher than 10 because our carbonation yeast also created some alcohol. So it's probably, maybe 11% or maybe a little bit more.
Which I think Cooks is around there. 11, 12, something like that. So yeah, it's good.
I mean, for what this is, coming from Walmart grape juice, this is great.
I think it's good.
Really.
It was kind of fun too.
It was fun. We weren't 100% sure the first time we did it if it was going to work. You don't want to try to put more sugar in than we started with, or the yeast may not be able to do the carbonation. If you try to go too high, the yeast will die.
With the yeast that we used especially.
Which is why we aimed for the
Lower.
9%. This is white wine turned into champagne. We also have a video that I'll link above for red wine from Walmart ingredients. And it's simpler.
And it's not carbonated.
It's not carbonated. And then if you want white wine that's not carbonated, just don't do the carbonation step from this. You can actually pour it right from the pour spout.
Into your glass.
And not do it into the bottle. And skip the whole bottle portion of it. And you'd end up with white wine from Walmart ingredients.
Exactly. And I guess that's it. That's really all there is to it.
That's it. Our channel does professional quality wine making instruction, where this is kind of just a fun thing that we wanted to put out there for people that don't normally make wine. So if you want to learn more about serious winemaking, you can watch our other videos.
Well, if they try this, they might be interested in
Try
doing
it.
more.
Try it. Let us know how it went. Even if it didn't work, we can probably let you know what you did wrong if you let us know how you did it. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching our video. I hope it was fun and entertaining and informative. And I actually really hope you guys try it and leave us comments about how it worked out for you guys. And then I hope you watch the rest of our videos and try those wines too. Thank you for your time. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you have, thank you for your support. And until next time, cheers.